Hi, I'm Dr. Michelle Pedicola, producer and founder of Secrets of Life and Death. Secrets of Life and Death is a film series. And you know what the number one secret of life and death is? It's living your passion. It's what my mother conveyed to me literally weeks before she died. Now, I'm guessing that you're already living your passion, but you're struggling. Otherwise, you wouldn't be on this call. You wouldn't be on this Facebook Live. And why are you struggling? Well, there could be a lot of reasons, but maybe part of it you're feeling is that you don't have the support of your partner. I understand. Hi, Mira. Thanks for joining. So you don't feel supported. And it's really difficult to show up and to be successful when you don't feel supported. So that's what I'm going to talk about today, is how to live your passion and enroll your partner in your mission so that you really have that support that you need. And also, guess what? If you can enroll your partner, you can enroll anybody. So the number one thing is that it's not easy to be a coach or a healer or a visionary entrepreneur. The hard and often avoided subject of being a coach or healer is just how hard it is to get there. That sometimes it takes a long time. It certainly takes a huge learning curve. I understand. And what's more, you actually need to be one of the best. The statistics are gruesome. Out of the thousands of people who become coaches every year, 90% quit in 2 years or less. And of those 10%, 60% only earn about $30,000 or less, which if you're living in the Bay Area, it barely covers your costs of doing your business, much less paying for your life, paying for your livelihood. So what can you do about this? Well, the number one thing you need to do, hold on, I got to get my notes in order. The number one thing is you need to be your best. You need to be unique. You need to stand out above the crowd. And that is actually perfect because that's what you need for your mission. It's challenging when you've been brought up to believe that the better way is to conform, is to follow the herd, to fit in with the pack. And it's not your fault, because as human beings, we are actually wired to want to fit in with the pack. Not to mention that many of us, most of us, have had challenging childhoods, which have also taught us to either be pleasers or controllers. Either one can mess with our success, not only with our business, but with our partners. So I'm going to give you some examples. I had a client who, every time she had a big event, she would get into an awful argument with her husband. And of course, when she showed up for her event and needed to show up powerfully, she was a mess. She used to go and stay in a hotel overnight in order to avoid that. Now, I had another client, this was a somewhat different dynamic, but very similar. Her husband read her the riot act. He said, you're not paying attention to the family. You're not paying attention to what you need around here. You're a workaholic and it's not working. And if you don't get this figured out, I'm leaving. So ultimately, the bottom line for enrolling your partner, show them the money. You need to handle this. You need to be successful. When you're successful, they'll come right along. They really want your success. They hate to see you in distress. They hate to see you struggling. They want you to be happy. And let's face it, being a visionary entrepreneur, a missionary, a person who has a passion and purpose, it is not an easy pathway. But it is the only pathway. So you need to do healing. That's what I'm here to tell you, is the underlying issue is emotional wounds that and patterns that you've learned as a child, that your parents were not supportive, or you felt you were unworthy, or you felt you were unsafe, and you developed patterns that are actually sabotaging your business. I know. I went there. I dealt with that. So as a PhD psychosocial analyst who's had over 20 years of coaching experience, here's what I know. One is, don't throw out your partner. Now, you probably already know this. Your partner is actually there to empower you, to hone your development. They are your first object of enrollment. And when you get them, you can enroll anybody. The other thing is the emotional healing. How do you go about doing that? Well, you say, well, you know what? I've done a lot of emotional healing. Well, I have to be honest with you. Let me be truthful. If you're not enrolling clients, if you're not attracting clients, if you're not even getting your enrollment calls, you have some healing to do. And I can help you. I can support you, not only in how to attract them, but also to heal the emotional unworthiness that is sabotaging your ability to actually sign them up. To sign them up, not for a low ticket, but for something that's actually going to support you, that's going to get you past what you've been charging. Which probably right now, in the middle of this whole global crisis, you're probably giving it away for free. Haven't you noticed all the people who are giving their services away for free? This is all about worthiness. Do you feel worthy? And that's what I work with. Now, you may be saying, well, look, I've done all these self-help and healing modalities, and I want to tell you that I can heal you, not as a psychotherapist, but as a coach, quickly, so that you can start being successful in your mission rapidly, not 5 years down the road, not 10 years. And in addition, that would also like to share with you all the practices, all the marketing, all the ways that I have learned to be successful in my business. So you may be thinking, well, you know what? It's not going to work. I've tried all these modalities. I've tried all this healing, and I'm still struggling. Let me give you some background. I started working with people around grief and loss. In fact, one of my clients had been grieving the loss of her partner for 20 years. She'd gone to psychotherapists, counselors, coaches, everything. And in less than a month, I got her to stop grieving after 20 years. I have worked with clients who were habituated to their grief, that had been grieving for a long time, and made a difference. You need to heal the childhood wounds. You need to heal not only the trauma. Oftentimes there's some little event that was traumatizing, and that was certainly the case with me. I was, at the age of 2, my father was transferred to Japan, and this little tiny thing was traumatic. They've actually done, psychologists have done a study of early childhood development and found that small events within the first 3 to 5 years can have a huge impact on your life. I can actually heal your trauma in 1 or 2 sessions. It's the behavior patterns that you learn to survive that are much more resistant. And that's why my program is a year-long program. Not only to teach you new behaviors, which I have learned how to do since I was working as a coach out with teenage juvenile delinquents. I have changed them. I can change you too. I've learned the procedure, the way of breaking down the steps so that you can start to change. So why is this important? Well, it's important to me. I care about you because you are part of my mission, is to empower as many healers, coaches, change makers, visionaries as I can, because this is what the world needs. By the way, don't feel bad if you still have wounds. Everybody out there has wounds. 1 out of 6 Americans is on some kind of psychiatric drug, primarily tranquilizers and antidepressants. I personally believe that that's because most of them are not living their missions. They're living their lives of quiet desperation and trying to avoid that awareness by staying unconscious. But that 1 in 6 doesn't even account for all of the rest of us who have avoided dealing with those emotional wounds through drinking and drugs and overeating and computer games, TV, and workaholism. In fact, that's probably the most pernicious, the most deadly of distractions. So this is what I want to teach you. This is what I teach my clients, is how to get into control, how to control yourself without tamping down your emotions. I'm really big at not doing that because I tamped down my emotions for 40 years and all it does is age your body. But to actually release your emotions in 2 minutes or less. And then to be able to enroll your partner in your vision, to be able to express it in a way, to step into your power so that they perceive how committed you are, how important it is, and that they want to support you. And I'm going to give you the languaging and the strategies for doing that successfully so that they don't trigger you. How do you handle the trigger when your partner says something that makes you feel worthless? I understand. And it's not easy. And that's what I do in my program so that it doesn't trigger you anymore. But in addition, I want to give you the tools that you need to be successful. Now, I know you've probably taken a bunch of marketing programs. I've taken probably 5 or 6 myself, many of them 5-figure programs. And you're like, why am I still not successful? Well, I'll tell you why. It's because there is a missing ingredient, a missing variable to the formula. And that missing ingredient, missing formula is you. And business coaches do not want to deal with your problems. And so they put it on you. Oh, it's your problem. It's your fault. You're not good enough. You're not working hard enough. No, you need to heal the emotional wounds, but they don't want to deal with it. In fact, most of them don't want to even deal with their own emotional wounds. That's why so many of them are overworking and probably one event shy of bankruptcy. The world needs you. Remember that figure? 1 out of 6 Americans is on some kind of psychiatric drug. We have a lot of work to do. And there are plenty of clients out there. There are plenty of people who need your help. But yes, you need to be unique, and you need to stand up strong and powerful and visible. And that's also what I want to share with you, is how to be more visible, but in a way that invites, that attracts people, so that they see that you are their coach. You are the person that they need to work with. That you are authentic. And yes, I had to become humble. I had to strip away my masks, my patterns that protected me from being attacked. I hid behind my intelligence. I hid behind my brilliance. And I didn't sign a lot of clients up because although they were very entertained, they couldn't relate to me. And let me tell you, when you are working with people around emotional wounds, they need to trust you. They need to believe that you're going to be there for them. And that meant that I had to learn to trust myself. And that's what I want to teach you, is how to trust yourself, how to believe in yourself, how to believe that you are worthy. Quickly. Now, I told you my program is a year long, but the change in your emotional landscape is going to happen immediately. We're going to start working on that right away. So how can you do that? How can you work with me? Well, first, what I recommend that you do is that you go to my 5-day Makeover Challenge. I have a whole bunch of training videos that are going to help you to figure out what it is that you need, what your mission is, what it is that you need to change, what area do you need to work on in order to move forward. And then in addition, I've got 3 extra bonus trainings that you can go to that will help you with your health, your love life, and your purpose. And then if you want to have a conversation with me, then come and have a conversation with me and see how I can help you. So let's see, what else do I have to tell you? Okay, so maybe you feel like you've done a lot of healing, and what's this about having to do healing again? Well, I told you. If you are having trouble enrolling your partner, if you're having trouble enrolling your clients, there's more healing to be done. And this is what I have learned, is that at every step of the way, every new level, there's going to be more healing that needs to be done. It's never a once and for all kind of thing. In fact, I dare say we're going to be healing ourselves until we die. That's part of the journey. So are you really committed to your purpose? Or is it just a hobby? If it's just a hobby, then you don't need to be listening to me. You can get off of this live stream right now. But if you are truly committed and you are struggling, reach out to me. Go ahead and take the 5-day challenge and find out what's holding you back. And then, if this resonates for you, let's have a conversation. Okay, so the other concern might be money. Yes, I understand. It does. You want to make money. And you're saying, well, will healing my wound do it? Is that going to solve my problem? Well, first of all, I would say, yes, it's going to help a lot, because a lot of what's been holding you back is that feeling of unworthiness, that feeling that you are not good enough. That's what enables you to give your stuff away, because you are actually more in need of the approval than you are willing to put yourself out and ask for money. And so healing that worthiness is going to be huge. But in addition, I'm going to be giving you trainings in how to enroll people, how to do the sales call so that you can get people to sign up with you, and how to present yourself, how to speak, which right now, it used to be you would speak in person, right? But now we're doing it all on the internet. And that's a whole nother level of speaking. That's a whole nother level of speaking to a tiny little hole on a screen and still connecting with your people. And that's what I would like to teach you. So the client I told you about who had the husband who read her the Riot Act, she was one of my clients, and now she is a multiple figure coach. She's extremely successful because I helped her to address the one emotional area that was holding her back, which was leaving her feeling not worthy of charging what she was worth. Now there's another dynamic that sometimes shows up, and I have seen this in many of the marketing programs I've taken. You see people who do really well right away, and they start earning gobs of money, and you're like, whoa, what's the matter with me? How come they're doing so well? And then about a year down the road, I see that either they have major health challenges or they have some sort of family crisis. Now that's really interesting. Well, here's what I have discovered. They have a different dynamic, but the underlying issue is the same. And the underlying issue is not feeling safe and not feeling worthy. So this dynamic is that you have learned how to take control of your life. You've learned how to be powerful. And so you show up and you actually are making money. But meanwhile, you're sabotaging your home. You're sabotaging your relationship. And so what happens is you may even be sabotaging your health, so you get sick. Or if you're sabotaging your home, your family or your partner is going to start showing up in a different way to get your attention. And sometimes they get sick. And I'll tell you, I've been working with people around grief and loss for over 20 years. And it breaks my heart that these people came to me, these women came to me after they lost their husbands, because it was clear that they were unintentionally sucking the life out of their partner, and their partner died. It was really, really sad. And that's one of the things that the controller can do, and also the other pattern, which is the pleaser, the one who wants to please and get it right and prove your worthiness. Either way, both patterns are reaching out and trying to grab the energy out there in the world, to grab it from other people. That's why you have trouble with your clients, because they feel it on an energetic level. When you heal the inner wound, when you heal the dynamic, you stop doing that and you show up powerfully and you start making a difference. So let me check my notes and see if I've missed anything. You can't do it alone. Okay, there are self-help books out there, and you can succeed to a certain extent. But in my experience, you can't do it alone. Why? Because the wounded child inside is the one who's ruling the roost. She is navigating the body and the brain. And she does not want to change. It took her a long time to develop these patterns that have kept her safe. And she doesn't trust you. She doesn't trust that you're going to take care of her. That's where I come in. I can help you and that inner child feel safe to do the work that you need to heal those patterns and to try out new patterns. And you know the fastest way to get her on board? Just like your husband, just like your partner. Be successful. And I want to get you success fast. So I was telling you about the teenagers I worked with. This was actually on the Navajo reservation years ago. And what I discovered was that these patterns get formed and cemented in very early in our lives. And the more we reinforce them, the more rigid they become. If you are passionate, though, if you have a mission, you can change. That's what you need. That is the fuel that's going to get you where you need to go. So if you have the passion, if you have a vision, I want to support you because that's how I fulfill my mission. I am passionate about helping to empower you, to get you past the stuff that's sabotaging your life, that is making it difficult. Life does not need to be a struggle. However, if you think that passion is enough, I'm sorry, it's not enough. It's just the fuel. You need to do the work. I remember when I finished my documentary film series, it was right around the time that film had come out, Field of Dreams, Build It and They Will Come. I actually thought that that's what was going to happen. I made 3 amazing films. Crickets. I had to learn to put myself out there. The films were not going to sell themselves. I had to go out there and sell them. Which reminds me of one of the most difficult aspects of being a coach or a healer. Way more difficult than selling widgets. Way more difficult than selling health food. Way more difficult than selling anything is selling yourself. That's why you need to heal the emotional wounds. Because if you don't feel that you are worthy, I guarantee you nobody else is going to feel that you are worth it. I want you to succeed. Why? Because the world needs all the healing it can get. Well, that's, I believe, it for today. Go ahead and check out my 5-day makeover challenge. Do the trainings. Check out the bonus trainings. And if you're ready to have a conversation, I'm here waiting for you. That's it. Be brilliant and bye for now.